We had a comment on our channel the other day, and it lends to something that we were just talking about off camera, and just about having certain people on your production that are in your camp. And you said someone had given advice to someone you know, and
yeah, a friend of mine is a female director who's very successful in TV right now. And before she did her first episode, she asked some other huge TV director, I forget who that was, if you had to give me one piece of advice, what would that be? And he said, make sure you have someone that is on your team, meaning that has not been hired by production, has not been suggested by the producers, but someone that you have worked with and trust and that you bring into the project. Which doesn't seem obvious in the beginning because you are so taken by all the great talented people that production is throwing at you, that you are happily taking that one. And in the beginning, everything is rosy anyway. The energy is like everybody's excited, there are no problems, blah, blah, blah. But I think the process is one where no matter how great the producers are that you work with, I always look at them in the beginning and go like, I know we're going to have a screaming fight at some point. Doesn't matter how great they are. It's like you're going through this war together, you're exhausted, and you don't have 100% overlapping worldview and creative views. Otherwise you'd be the same person. Just by virtue of not being the same person, that friction, especially with the money involved, will at some point lead to the moment where you find yourself on set, being screamed at by that person, screaming at that person, and having to figure out the next moment after that. So that's always what I'm, in my mind, jumping ahead to and go like, do I want to do that with that person? Does that person seem reasonable and human enough that we will survive that moment and it's not going to taint everything into bitterness? And then connected to that is this bring your own person, because you will find yourself in a situation where everything is so crazy and there are conflicts and you are not completely sure that it's not you going crazy. Especially because if production comes with all their people, they owe each other loyalty. Like if you have a TV show, for example, where they've already done 10 episodes, I'm doing the 11th episode. This whole team has me on set for a week, but knows that the next year of their employment depends on being in good graces with the producers. If there now is a conflict, you will not suddenly have the team stand up for you, which on a movie set you would, because you put the team together, you stuck your heads together creatively to make this happen. And if there's a conflict with the money side of things, you are anchored in your creative people that give you the confidence that you are pursuing the right thing for the right reason. In TV, you don't have that, for example. So what she was saying, to even have one person there, she brought her cinematographer, where she said, no, I want to hire my own cinematographer, blah, 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 made a world of a difference because she knew that she had one ally on set. And again, that's really hard and sounds very negative to think of conflict in the beginning when everything is just fireworks and everything is great. But I think that's a smart way to do. And if there is no conflict, I've yet to see that set where there is no conflict. But if that happens to be the case, then great, you know. But at least you have some kind of insurance of having someone who has your back and is not beholden to the producers.
Well, there's a honeymoon phase for everything, whether it's a new job, whatever it is. So yeah, everyone's going to be on their best behavior.
Right.
And then people's preferences and quirks and everything comes out later. And then, yeah, are you able to recover from it and still be cordial and professional with each other even after a blow up?
Right.
Or does that person hold a grudge?
Right.
And then to have someone in your own camp, I think that's great. And also as a sounding board, somewhat, not as like a full emotional sounding board, but someone to basically you can run something by. Like, was that, when I gave that, was that clear?
Right.
And I think that's helpful.
And in that context, the greatest thing, of course, if you can bring someone on that you've worked with before, that can give you context of what we did it before like that, what they want now is different, who can see what you do in a context with a little bit of background, I think is super helpful. That's maybe a luxury to have, that you have someone who is as professional, like functions on that high a level that the production will say, yes, we will hire your person instead of our person. That is probably hard to achieve, but if it can be achieved, then that is a big plus, I think.
What if a filmmaker finds themselves in a situation where they can tell that the production is running away from them, and it feels like their head's spinning and everyone's sort of got their own agenda? How do they make it through, even if they say, okay, this is not going to go well, but I'm contractually obliged to continue this, and I'm going to stay there and tough it out? How do you kind of keep your sanity?
I think that is the answer. What you just said, you're there. It hasn't happened to me in that bad a form, and I do wonder that myself, because it's so demanding to be on set, even in the best of circumstances, that if it's a nightmare atmosphere continually over days and weeks, I don't know how people do it. But I guess if you are getting paid for it, then you just concentrate on that and go like, every day that I'm on set, I'm getting paid. And if I was working in an office environment, I would hate it too, but I'd go to get paid. So I'm doing that now, and I'm trying to not lose my sanity. And then, if that can be achieved at all, I'm always trying to remind myself how cool it is that I get to do this and that I get to see this, even if it's a nightmare. How amazing that I get to see an Oscar-winning actor be a diva and be hated by everyone, but I get to see it from the first row. Like, I'm in Hollywood. How great is that? And you always forget that because you're so in it, and you go, oh, I hate this, and I don't want to get to set, blah, blah, blah. But if you have a little bit of a distance, which in TV is much easier because it's not your baby that you have written and nurtured over years and you now see fall apart, but it's an episode that someone else wrote, and you are just there to kind of make it literally through the day. And then it's a little bit easier, I think, to step back. But again, then it helps if you can turn to someone at the end of the day and can roll your eyes with them, and you know that that wasn't a normal day. Whereas if you don't have that person and you start getting the feeling that you are the one that is off and that this is a normal condition that you're working with, I think then it can really kind of eat away at you.
Sure. And that's where you just kind of keep it to, wow, great weather today.
Right, yeah.
Very surface.
I mean, at some point, really, it's about making it through the day and shooting the stuff that is on the page. Keep shooting. It's really, in the end, the only recipe. You just have to really let go of plans that you had and how you imagined this. If you get, I think, caught in the spiral of frustration, I have that. I'm not in a good way, a perfectionist in that I get very demotivated very quickly if I have the feeling we're compromising quality, right? And that then adds up, because if we do it in the first day, I'm already in day 2 slightly less motivated to achieve what in my delusional mind I think will be this great cultural masterpiece, right? And so then I have to be careful not to get caught up in the frustration of that, because every day it will be worse, because the first day you compromise, the second day you have to compromise because you compromised the first day. So the third day, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And in the end, you could get to the dangerous moment of, I don't care anymore, you know? And to save yourself from that, I think it's good to let go a little bit in the beginning and almost ideally see the humor in it and go like, let's see where this goes. But I still have to deliver, obviously, the pages that we have to shoot every day. And then we'll see in editing if we can save this thing. That's probably how that would go.